loss without a vote. The behavioral response, moving savings into hard assets, real estate, commodities, anything outside of the official monetary system, is functionally identical to bearing coins in 3rd century Egypt. Same instinct, different century. Borders, the structural question that Rome failed to answer, wasn't whether the movement of people was good or bad. It was at what pace, with what integration, with what civic expectation. Rome recruited soldiers from the same populations pressing against its frontiers, without a coherent framework for converting that into shared civic identity. The frontier became permeable, not from a single military failure, but because the system stopped being selective about who entered and under what terms. Every major Western government is currently being forced to answer the same structural question, with the same absence of consensus about what the right answer is. Power, institutional trust in the Western world, measured across media, courts, legislatures, universities, and financial systems, has declined in nearly every major polling database throughout 30 consecutive years. The mechanism is identical to Rome's. Institutions repeatedly failed to deliver on their stated commitments. The failures were visible. Credibility loss compounded. The behavioral response is to withdraw from civic participation, distrust of official information, and private arrangement over public reliance. This maps directly onto what Romans stopped believing when the system wouldn't protect them anymore. This isn't a political prediction. It's a pattern identified in what a civilization does in collapse. The crisis of the 3rd century didn't happen because Rome was uniquely corrupt or uniquely weak. It happened because Rome was complex. Complex systems have longer dependency chains. More places where a break in one area cascades through everything else. And when they are very good at looking stable, until suddenly they aren't. The people living in 240 didn't know they were living inside a civilizational crisis. They knew the coins were lighter. They knew the emperor had changed again. They knew the news from the frontier wasn't good. The end of civilization was something that happened to other people in the past, not here, not now. The Rome that came out of the 3rd century lasted another 200 years. It spent most of them governed by a state that extracted more and delivered less. Run by institutions its own people had learned at every practical level not to trust. That trajectory wasn't sealed by the Goths or the Sassanids. It was sealed by 50 years of decisions that prioritized short-term survival over structural integrity. Decisions made by people who had no idea they were dismantling something that would take centuries to rebuild. The pattern doesn't announce itself. It just proceeds.